Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 2 p.m., and that's on the Eastern time zone as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. It's always so much fun. Thank you so much for sending your emails, Donna at donnasedge.com. That's Donna at donnasedge.com. You can find us on television. We are syndicated, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. That's on Abundance Television. Find us on all the social media sites. We're just always so glad to be with you every single chance that we can get. I wanted to talk to you about customer service. I am in Alabama right now, Gadsden, Alabama, and I'm with a dear friend, Twin City Used Car Sales, Bobby Ledbetter. This is where Phil and I bought all of our vehicles, and we've been buying all these vehicles right here for years. And so Phil just bought a truck not too long ago, just a few months ago, and I've kind of taken over that truck. But anyway, it's a great place to buy your vehicles. Prior to this one, Phil had bought a truck a few years ago and bought another car a few years ago. So we just keep coming back. We just keep coming back. And the reason we keep coming back is because of customer service. So let's just go ahead while I'm waiting on our next guest to be here. Let's talk a little bit about customer service and why you can actually have a business and start from absolutely nothing and grow that business is because of the way you treat people and the way you treat people in the community. So let me give you a little bit of background. So Bobby Ledbetter and I've been friends for a number of years, and so I was with a radio station. He started advertising with me. Both of us believe in taking good care of the customer. So COVID hit a few years later, and I was working for another radio station at the time, and the show was still going through about that television. And so Bobby said, I just got it on my heart, I want to feed people. This is during the COVID 20, big year when that happened. And so he said, I don't know, I feel like people need to be fed, physical food, because a lot of people have lost their jobs in the community. He was in DeKalb County at that time, DeKalb County, Alabama, in Fort Payne. And he said, I don't know, I feel bad. And so I said, well, let me know about it and I'll have you promote it. We'll get the word out for everybody. So Bobby starts this event. And so he works with another guy. His name is Matt Miles. And so he is with another company with a really popular restaurant located in Fort Payne, Alabama as well. And so that particular day, Bobby called and he said, "You're not going to believe this." He said, "We had over 1,200 people come to this food event." And he said, "We just handed out all this food." And so I kind of tricked Bobby, and I had him call me at a particular time when I was actually live on the radio. And then later I told him, because I knew he never brags about himself. So I knew if I could just if I could trick him, get him to talk to me about what he had done and about the success of the food event, that maybe we'd get more word out and they could sell more cars, because he would never do that. And so it was up to me because I really believe in this guy. So again, that was a very successful event. So after that, Bobby asked, he said, well, I just feel like I need to do more of that. And he said, so where can I go? Well, I was in Scottsboro at the time, and I said, why not Scottsboro? So we went on ahead and had the event there as well. I asked a few elected officials to be with us. And so the rest of it was just basically history. We kicked off, I think it was a total of 8 events at that time. So then after all of this, I think they fed probably around 60,000 people, maybe even more than that, due to all these events. Went to several different cities and towns in Marshall County, DeKalb County, and just basically all over North Alabama. And so when you do good things, it always comes back around if you're doing it for the right reason. And Bobby was definitely doing this for the absolute right reason. So then Bobby decides to retire. And so, of course, I was talking to my husband Philip. I said, that's not going to last long because this guy likes to work. I mean, he loves being with people. He loves helping people, those kinds of things. And so he did retire for a few months. And then he decided to go ahead and get back into it again. And so he called me and he said, I think I'm going to get back into opening the car business back up again. And I said, I'm glad you are. I said, because I haven't been sending people anywhere. To tell you the truth, I didn't even talk with another car advertising person at all because I knew Bobby and I knew how good he took care of his customers. And again, when I have sponsors, they they reflect me as well. So if I have a sponsor and they're a bad sponsor and they're not taking good care of the customer, I really don't want to do business with them. And I really, to tell you the truth, I just really didn't have time to get out and talk with other people anyway. So then when Bobby reflected and told me he was going to get back into the business again, I said, okay, great. So he and I are talking with each other. And he said, but I decided to do things a little bit different this time. So instead of Fort Payne, I think I'm going to try Gadsden, Alabama. And Gadsden is a fantastic location, by the way. If you're listening to me from another part of the country, Gadsden is a good place to visit in Alabama. And let me tell you why. First of all, they're prospering, they're doing great things. The town wants to actually grow. And so they've had a lot of new businesses, a lot of retail here, a lot of businesses are coming in manufacturing. And I think it's because, first of all, it's a beautiful area. They have water out at the Gadsden Mall. One of the reasons I think for their success is beautiful water. And so they have people who come in, they go fishing, and they have tournaments, and they do all kinds of great things. But not only that is the proximity in Alabama. So you're on 59. So you're almost right in you're limitless if you're in Gadsden because you're right in the middle of all the big towns. You get the hometown, small town advantage and the friendliness of the small town. But if you decide you want to go to the big city, you can because in just a few miles down the road is Birmingham. And that's going south, and then you can go over to Huntsville is really close. Getting close to Atlanta, you just get on I-59, get on 20, and get into Atlanta. Anniston is just right up the road. Anniston, Oxford, that's where I'm actually from. Anniston, Oxford area. And then up in Gadsden, from Gadsden, you can go also to the Sand Mountain area. And they have a lot of folks out in that area who were former customers. And so Bobby said, what do you think? And I said, I think you'll be successful whatever you do, Bobby, because of your customer service, because you're always taking good care of customers. And so he does it. And I'm just telling you, it was a success overnight. Again, taking good care of the customer. And that's the big part of it, is doing that. And then people don't forget. Now sometimes when we do nice things, and we're not doing it because, of the notoriety or because of, you want to be thought of well in the community. You're doing it out of the heart, and you're doing it because you absolutely want to. And so I wanted to mention this one. Another event was around Christmas time. And this was about 2 years after COVID, I think. And so Bobby said, I got his heart again. He said, I want to feed folks. So he goes to DeKalb County, Rainsville, Alabama, and so he matches up with the Cowboy Church, and he also matches up with Matt Miles, who owned a restaurant again in Fort Payne, Alabama. And so they start this big thing, Christmas dinner. So this is what happened. So Bobby said, I want to do a big dinner this time, enough to serve like an entire family. So this is what he did. So he puts together big turkeys. And by the way, we're bagging up all of this stuff. We're getting all this stuff ready for folks to do. Because you have to get there early to get an event like this started. So it was a big turkey and then also a big can of great big can of corn and those Hawaiian rolls that everybody likes. And they gave away a combination of some apple pies and some pecan pies. And again, this is all done. Cowboy churches get together, the local chamber of commerces get together. They're all in there to do this together. And so it made a great team. So John Merrill, who was actually the Alabama Secretary of State at the time, he asked me, he said, every single time Bobby does an event, I want to help. I want to come out and do things with Bobby. So I called John and I said, he wants to do this right before Christmas, okay? And so he was there, and he and I were kind of like your Walmart greeters. I would greet people as they were coming in, and then John would be on the other end greeting people. So it was just a wonderful thing. So we had all these people coming through, and so they get their food. And guess what? These people remember that. And another thing people remember, a lot of times people just want a one-shot deal. They're in sales, and they just think, well, I just want to sell a widget. I don't care if I don't sell another widget to this person. You need to care. And again, this Twin City used car sales with Bobby Ledbetter, he cares. So because he cares, he's beginning to get kids and grandkids of former folks who were his customers. And that says a lot about somebody. if you buy from somebody and or you sell something to somebody and their kids and their grandkids are coming in to see you, that's all there is. I mean, that's all that. But that's not only Bobby, it's his staff of employees who are there to help you as well. I don't know what he does to train people, but I don't know that it's so much about training as if he just hires the right people and they got to be with it. So let's talk a little bit more about customer service. And from my end of it, because I've been in the corporate world and I've worked for GTE, who is Verizon, who my cell phone service is with right now. And so from that end, I can tell you a corporate end and what the corporate people tell you need to do. And it's all about knowing the product. And that's where that training comes from. You got to know your product or you can't sell anything. So these guys here at Twin City are up on the top of it. They know about a car and how it runs, gas mileage on it. They try these cars out because they are used cars. So they do try the cars out. So they're right there. That guy has been talking to I don't know how many people today since I've been here since 9 o'clock this morning, and it's almost lunchtime. And I've just seen him, along with all the other staff, they are covered with people who want cars. Now, before I get into the specifics, we're going to go into a break in just a minute. So I just want to mention this, okay, because school will be starting back, right? Kids are going to be getting out of school. They're graduating. They'll be going to college. So this will be a good time to come down here and see Bobby. Twin City Used Cars, and BobbyLedbetter.com is one way you can find him on the web. They will not put your kids in anything unless it's a great, great used car. You got kids now, he will kind of help you out. You know, every kid wants a sports car, that kind of thing. But I'll have to tell you about one sale that I know of. And this is one of my friends, and she wanted a sports car to go to Auburn University. So Bobby said, that's good, you need that, but now you're going to be back and forth, bringing your laundry home and all of that. And he didn't talk her into anything, but he wanted to let her know that there's something besides a sports car, and it's safer. So I think she got a Volvo. I'm not sure what it was, but anyway, it was almost like an SUV that she got, and still out on the road. And this has been like 4 years ago since that happened. Still a good car, still out on the road. I've got to go into a commercial break, and I'll be right back in just a few minutes. We're going to talk more about customer service and why customer service will help you even when you relocate a business. We'll be right back.
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring. But the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
Good afternoon. We're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday. If you're in Alabama, we begin at 1 p.m., and that's on the Central Time Zone. If you're anywhere else, just check it out. Out there on the Eastern Time Zone, the show starts airing at 2 p.m. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sending emails, by the way. You can continue sending those to Donna@DonnasEdge.com. That's Donna@DonnasEdge.com. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you being with me every single day. You can find us on X, you can find us on Facebook, all of those areas. And continue sending emails because you are the reason we have this show. You're the star, okay? You and the guest are the star of this show. Send emails again to Donna@DonnasEdge.com. I'm right here at Twin City Used Car Sales, located in Gadsden, Alabama. And I'm telling you, it's worth it wherever you're traveling from to buy a car from Bobby because you're going to be put in something really good. We've got all of our vehicles are from Twin, and we've been doing this for a number of years. I love the friendly staff here. They are so friendly. They'll greet you when you walk up, and they're just there to help you. Now, they're not here to sell you anything, okay? They're here to help provide you with a vehicle of your dreams and the vehicle that you are absolutely looking for. So they'll ask a few questions. What do you want to use the car for? This is all part of customer service. Think about the kids going to college, okay? A lot of kids are graduating this season. And again, it's so worth the drive from wherever you are to come down here and buy a vehicle from Bobby Ledbetter at Twin City Used Car Sales. I don't even know how many years he's been in business, but it's been a long time. He's beginning to get customers of kids and grandkids now. That's how long he's been in business. Again, customer service is all about it. Okay, so before we went into a break, we were talking about the corporate end of customer service and what they tell you about. And they tell you really need to know your product. So I actually began business when I was with, started out at Cellular One and then Verizon. And this was before anybody had a cell phone. This is back in the 1980s, you know. And so maybe a doctor or an attorney in town might have one. Most everybody at that time actually had pagers. And so pagers, cell phone, different deal. So it was a hard thing to do. So what I had to do is tell people the convenience and safety on having cell phones. So this is what happened. So again, corporate government accounts is what I took care of. And so I had landed the police department in Anniston, Alabama. And then in Oxford, Alabama, and then went on to the troopers and the sheriff's department and all of them. So what happened is one of the guys at the police department had purchased a car and a cell phone for for his wife, actually. Well, everybody trusts each other in Anniston, Alabama, right? So this is what happened. So this lady had been to the grocery store, and it was the cop's wife, and didn't lock the car door, wasn't paying any attention, put the groceries in the top of her car, jumps in the car, starts driving down the road, and a gun is pointed to her. So this guy is reaching from her. By the way, she had a bag phone. Bag phones were 3-watt phones back in the day. Best phones ever. I wish they sold bag phones now because they're 3 watts, and your regular cell phone now is 0.6 of a watt, so it's not quite the same wattage. But I sold him on the fact that she wanted a handheld. So I sold him on the fact of her having a bag phone because they live kind of out in the rural area. And I said, she needs a bag phone because of where you guys live. And I said, if she doesn't like it, we'll take it back you can always, swap it out and get you a handheld if that's what she just must have. So anyway, so the guy reaches out and he puts a gun towards her back, and it hit the news. Thank God she thought really, really fast. So, like an idiot kind of a guy trying to rob her or whatever he was trying to do. So they go down the road just a little piece. She lives out in the country, and he wanted to pull over the side of the road and said he had to go to the bathroom. He didn't know she had a cell phone. Again, nobody had cell phones back then. So he takes her keys, and he said, "Don't go anywhere." So he takes her keys, and she had left the car running, luckily. The bag phone was plugged into the car charger, cigarette lighter adapter. So as he's out doing his thing, she's calling 911. That cell phone saved her life. So we've been talking about safety, right? About everybody needs a cell phone. My business boomed because I begged her to get. She wanted the pretty handheld. By the way, they were big. We call them brick phones back in the day. They were like this big and they were really heavy. They probably weighed about 2 or 3 pounds apiece. But I told her if all she wanted it for was safety, she needed a bag phone because she lived in the country. So it hit the papers where she bought a phone from me. She even mentioned my name in the article, the newspaper article, the Anniston Star. I don't know if it's called the Anniston Star or not, but at the Anniston Star. So because I was thinking of her safety, and I felt bad. I thought, well, if this lady buys a handheld that's only 6 cents a watt, it's not going to get her off. She's got to have the 3-watt phone. Because of that, I started getting business. So I wanted to say that to tell you this. That's the corporate way of doing things, is knowing your product. And at that time, I knew phones inside and out. Bobby Ledbetter at Twin City Used Car Sales knows his product too. As a matter of fact, he's so busy with customers, I was hoping you people would come by and talk to you for a minute. I may try to catch him just for a second before this segment ends. But he knows his product. They will ask you questions. And it's all about customer service, right? It's all about knowing you and your questions. Now, they don't sit down with some long, drawn out something. It's a conversational type thing. So they'll just ask you, what's the car going to be for? Will it be for work? Will it be for pleasure? Will it be for trips? What do you want the car for? Well, if you come in and say, well, I brought my son, my daughter with me, they're going to college. They're going to be going to the University of Alabama or Texas or whatever. They're going to be driving this car for long distances. You better believe he's going to put them in a car that's got low gas mileage on it and that he feels confident about driving the car. So Phil buys his truck. There was some little thing that needs to be tweaked about it, and so Phil called Bobby, and he said, so it's doing something, I'm not sure what it is, but you know people, and you know the best mechanics in town, and he said, I just, who do you use so I can take the vehicle to see what needs to be done about it? Because Phil was a shade tree mechanic back in the day. Like everybody in the family called on Phil to take care of the car, but this is back before they got computers and that kind of stuff in cars. So Phil doesn't understand the computer part of it. And if it's computer related, then it needs to be hooked up to a computer, right? That's made just for cars. So Bobby said, you're not taking it anywhere. Bring it down here. And so Phil brought his truck down here. And so Bobby, we were moving at the time, by the way. And it's like life is hectic for us because we were moving, we're doing all this kind of stuff. And Phil before we moved, wanted to Bobby, his person to look at the car, at the truck. So we borrowed a truck. And we used this truck, it was probably about a month before we could actually get it back to Bobby. And by the way, if something like slipping or slamming, I could have probably fixed it had I known about it. It was not even a problem with the truck. But anyway, that's what customer service is all about. So he takes good care of his customers. He will take good care of you. He will take good care of your kids, whoever you're buying a truck for. So if you have bought a car for Bobby in the past and you know somebody who's looking for a vehicle, please pay him back for the generosity of helping people right here in our communities. Again, when COVID hit and we're feeding all these people, that was money out of Bobby's pocket. By the way, he's probably going to be upset when he sees this, but it definitely Bobby paid for all of that. They fed over 60,000 people during that tenure of feeding folks in different communities. But let's pay him back, okay, and buy a vehicle from Bobby. Give him a chance. And you'll be really, really glad you did. Again, Gadsden, Alabama, in case you're new to the area or you really don't know a whole lot about Alabama, people from all over the place are buying cars from Bobby. It's really convenient to get to. You can get to, if you're coming in, say, from Atlanta or from, say, where I live in South Carolina, you'll take 85, go through Atlanta is a good way to get here. Depending on Atlanta traffic, you know how that goes. You can go actually through Rome, Georgia, and go through that way as well. I just prefer going through Atlanta. And so what you'll do is you go 85, and you go 85 south, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to get I-20. You're going to get on the I-20 like you're going towards Birmingham. So go that way. That's going to get you on I-20, and you'll find a little area, a little town called Oxford. It's grown a lot, but anyway, Oxford, Alabama. You'll go through Oxford, you'll go through Gadsden, and you'll be on Highway 431, and that's going to get you right into Gadsden, Alabama. You'll be glad you went, and you'll want to hang around, by the way, and visit the Gadsden Mall. They're growing, one of the few malls in the whole world that's growing, and so you'll find them. And then check out Noccalula Falls. You'll be glad you did that too. You might as well go ahead and rent a room and stay here for a week. You'll have plenty to do. You'll love all the little restaurants they have here in Gadsden, but check out Noccalula Falls. There's a history behind that. Okay, it is a true story, so you need to look it up, Noccalula Falls, and see what happened there. It's an Indian princess, as a matter of fact, is who it was named by, and she did take a leap into the falls, so that's how it became famous. Okay, I'm going to have to call it a day. Thank you so much for watching. We've been talking about customer service. Run by and say Bobby Ledbetter with Twin City Used Car Sales. You're going to be super, super glad you did that. Check him out. Customer service is absolutely fantastic. You'll find him on the web at bobbyledbetter.com. You can check out the cars there. And by the way, credit challenged. A lot of folks have been because of COVID and still kind of hanging around. And if you are credit challenged, they're going to put you in a vehicle. They have all kinds of sources they can do that for you. And you won't be paying an arm and leg for it as well. But again, thank you so much for watching. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host. And I look forward to seeing you next time around. Thanks for watching.
At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Because of your overwhelming support, our 1488 MyPillow has been one of the biggest sales in MyPillow history. I couldn't think of a better way to say thank you than to extend our wholesale pricing through Christmas. Get a classic standard MyPillow for only $14.88. Upgrade to a queen size, just $18.88. King size, only $1 more. Get my body pillows for only $29.88. And ready? Multi-use MyPillows, only $9.88. It's perfect time to stock up for Christmas gifts for everyone on your list. Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our wholesale pricing, including my classic standard MyPillows, only $14.88. But that's not all. I'm so confident you're going to love our classic MyPillows that I'm going to extend my 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, orders over $75 ship absolutely free.